These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
I have really, really cool news. Okay, so about a year ago, I got to share the absolutely life-changing, mind-blowing, universe-warping news about writing my first book, The Butcher and the Wren. I could never have dreamed of the support that I received then and that the book continues to receive now from all of you. You are amazing. You set records with the numbers of pre-orders. You made every edition a bestseller. It's you guys. You did it. And it was even nominated recently for an Audie Award. It's for Best Audiobook with a Multi-Voice Performance. Yup. Those voice actors are the best. And now I am so proud and so thrilled to share 2 pieces of incredible news with you. I have been sitting on these 2 pieces of news forever, and I can't wait to scream them to you. So the first one is that The Butcher and the Wren is going to be out in paperback this summer on July 25th. So you can finally get that paperback edition. And to make this even cooler, guess what the paperback edition is going to have?
What?
It's going to have a sneak peek of a chapter from book 2.
Oh my God. And guess what? I got to read it and I can tell you it's a really good chapter.
It is. That's right. There's going to be a sequel. It is coming. You get to read part of it in that paperback if you get it. And what's even better is that my publisher is giving away free signed copies of the paperback to the first 50 people who pre-order. So if you want to pre-order the paperback with that sneak peek chapter of book 2 in it, you can go to tinyurl.com/TBATW paperback. That's tinyurl.com/TBATW paperback. Thank you guys so much. You're amazing. Thank you so much for listening, supporting, reading, being the best weirdos that you ever could be. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you and love you. I just want to hug you all, but I won't because it's virtual, but feel it, okay? I can't wait for you guys to read more Jeremy and Wren this summer, and it's going to be awesome. Just you wait.
Kapowie!
Hey, weirdos.
I'm Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And this right here that you're listening to is morbid.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is. It remains to be so.
Whoa, that was poetry.
I am poetry.
You are poetry.
I'm just kidding.
No, you know what you are? You're prose.
I'm prose. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I love the word prose.
I do too.
Prose was a sponsor of ours one time.
It's been a sponsor.
Yeah. Prose.
I like prose.
This is not an ad for
I was
prose.
going to say the word prose has no meaning anymore, but it's fun while it lasted. Prose.
Guys, it's only Tuesday and we're losing our GD minds.
Yeah.
You ever have a week like that?
It's been quite a week. It's just, it's 2023, man.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's going to be such a great year because I'm getting married that year. That's probably the only good thing that will take place.
But you know what? We're having a positive attitude because we have positive candles.
And lots of statues.
Yeah, Mikie really positive vibed this place up.
The joy candle is wild and over there.
Yeah, we have a positive energy candle and she is lit right now and she's also lit.
We lit her and then she
lit herself. She is really going off right now, which makes me think that she's like, hey, bitches,
she would
stop
never.
talking so negatively. I am positive energy. Hear me roar.
And she's
feel it. Engulfing this room in flames.
Fuck yeah. And I have some intention flowers sitting next to me.
Yeah.
I have a whole shelf that Mikie put together for me.
So it's positive vibes only, okay? Positive vibes only, even when there's tons of shit happening around us that is not great.
So I was going to start making an acronym of everything you said, but then you really just kept going and I lost the letters. But I was like, PVO. Oh, wait, she's doing more.
PVO.
Pavo.
WTB. Oh, did I say shitty or bad? Okay.
You said shitty. Of course you said shitty. Who are you?
HAU.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's what everybody's motto should be.
So anyway.
What is it again? Say it again. Yep, there's your motto. That's your affirmation for today. But positive vibes only here. And you guys rule. I was talking to a listener today.
You were?
Yes, I was, because her name is Danny, and she's awesome. I really like her.
Is she a phantom?
She's a phantom. There you go. I don't know. I'll ask.
I loved that show.
The reason that I was chatting briefly with her was, I think in one of the recent episodes we were talking about how, we were talking about it with JVN. We were talking about how we put butter on Pop-Tarts.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I was like, is that gross, everybody? But no, she was like, I do that too. And then she was like, also don't judge me, but I put butter with my peanut butter on toast.
I do that too, and so do you.
And she said I put butter on saltines. And I was like, bitch, are we the same person? Because I was like, wait a second.
See,
that's spooky.
That is.
Because that's
spooky.
That shit. Also, That's Spooky is a great podcast. Go listen to
it.
But that shit is spooky. I thought that's stuff that whenever I do it, everyone around me is like, that's really gross. And you should check yourself before you wreck yourself. And
so, yeah.
To hear somebody sit there and just out with it, say I also do these two very niche things.
Do you think that putting butter on before peanut butter is niche?
I feel like it is, because everyone I've ever mentioned it to is like, that's really gross.
I wonder
John's
if I got it
horrified.
from you. I must have gotten it from you.
You did, because I think I got it from Dad. And then I probably passed it to you because I was like, try this.
It's fucking good.
Because John is horrified by it. Every time I do it, he's like, you are something else.
No, everybody should give it a shot. Where I do draw the line, though, is butter on saltines.
Have you tried it, though?
No.
Have you tried it? You haven't tried it. I'm going to have you try it. And you're going to go,
I probably will. I love a good dipping.
Because you're not smearing butter on it. It's just a light little...
A dabble, do ya?
On it. And you just take it with the salt. I don't know what. It just gives it a little sweet, little salty. Just enough. Not too much.
I might have made this confession before about saltines on this podcast, but if I haven't, get ready for a fucking wild one. This is disgusting.
Are you one of those wild people?
Not anymore, no. No. But when I was little, this is like a gross, fucking nasty thing that I did when I was little. I didn't require supervision. Well, I did require it, but I didn't get it.
You just didn't get it.
I used to dip my saltines into water and eat them. And sometimes, this is so gross, we used to live with this lady named Judy, me and my mom, and Judy was the best. But like, she ran a daycare, so there was a lot of us to keep track of. So, maybe I wasn't always getting the eyes on me. I used to dip my saltines into the pool and eat them.
Oh,
how fucking gross is that?
Mikey's head just whipped over your,
I would like to tell you that I was like 7.
How old were you?
No. I would like to tell you.
I thought you were saying
today,
I would like to say that I was 7.
Confess that I was
but I was actually 17.
It was actually last week. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm actually about to do it now.
No, but I'm actually going to go find the nearest pool and a bag of saltines and have myself a good time.
Have myself a day.
Whoa!
Have myself an afternoon.
Isn't that so foul?
That's foul.
And it wasn't even a saltwater pool because,
yeah.
No.
That's one of those things that, I'm always of the mind, have you tried it?
I know,
but you know what?
Not tried dipping
I feel
your
that's one of
saltines
those things that I can say is not great.
Yeah, I also wrote my name on the wall at Judy's house because I had recently seen Madeline do that in her movie, but fun fact, you get in trouble for writing on Judy's walls.
In case you were thinking of writing on Judy's walls,
you get in trouble.
You will get in trouble.
And gymnastics will get taken away from you.
Aww.
I know.
Don't take after school activities away.
Never.
It's important.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. I'm not telling you how to parent. But whatever.
So what did these fuckers do next?
So I think we should, So, but you know what? Shout out to Danny for being the same person that I am. What's up, soul sister?
Danny, did you dip your saltines in the pool? Because we could also be friends.
We could also be soul sisters.
She's like, girl,
she's
step
like,
back.
no. The line has been drawn.
She said, I don't identify with you.
But yeah, that was funny. So that was a nice, it's a nice moment to connect for a second and be like, girl, yeah. But now we're going to get into some terrible shit. We're going to get into part 2 of Burke and Hare. These fuckers suck.
I know, and that's the thing. Whenever you say we're going to talk about Burke and Hare, it sounds like a fun story.
It sounds whimsical.
It sounds like a fairy tale.
It does sound like a fairy tale.
I don't know why I said it that way.
It sounds so fairy-like. It's fairy-like.
It was a soul.
So it does sound whimsical.
It does.
I agree with you. But when we last left them, they murdered a grandma and her grandson.
Separately, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all 4 seem to have involvement.
Yeah. And then Dr. Knox there was like, oh, weird that you brought in an old lady and her grandson.
At the same time.
They don't look as good, so I'm going to give you a little less money for it. And it's like, my guy.
He knew.
My dude.
I'm on the record right now.
Yeah.
He knew.
Oh,
You're not getting all these oddies and not questioning it.
They just rolled in there with a woman and her grandson. And you're telling me that you didn't question that these 2 people died side by side?
Right, and they had already been sus as fuck before.
Yeah.
Because of the last woman before they
Mary.
killed yeah. They knew she was known in town. Yeah. They were the last people seen with her. Mm-hmm. Yaddy-da-doo.
Yaddy-da-doo.
Fuck this.
Yeah, it's not great, but, the last one that they had before we stopped part 1 was Effie, who they believed her name was Effie.
Right.
And in their confessions, they were like, I think she went by Effie. It's that's nice.
Also, I think that's the cutest name. I didn't get a chance to say it last week.
It is very adorable.
Yeah.
That's a whimsical name.
Oh, totally.
Effie.
I follow this girl, on TikTok that
Mm.
she will categorize names and she does them into whimsical names, old-fashioned names.
That's fun.
I'm going to find her name later and tell you.
Yeah. I want to know what my name would be categorized into.
Well, so she does baby names. So I've actually never seen your name on there.
Oh.
She does if
my name was a baby name at one point.
No way.
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah.
I never seen you on there. You're not whimsical. You're not old-fashioned.
At one point, it was a baby name.
One day.
Because I was a baby at one point. But
you were a cute little baby. I wasn't there to witness it in person.
You see photographic evidence.
Maybe I was in a different life.
One of your souls probably was.
Probably.
I think that.
Anyway.
But either way, poor Effie, she was a hawker. She was actually known around town. She was known to Burke.
Of course she was.
So she, and when I last told you guys, she had gone door to door kind of selling, and I think she was going to sell him bits of leather for his cobbling work.
Okay.
And he enticed her into a barn with alcohol and the promise of rest. Once she had fallen asleep, he said he laid a cloth over her and suffocated her as they did the others.
Oh, okay.
Then they just brought her to Knox's dissection room and got 10 shillings for the body.
Wow.
Yep. So as the summer went on, the stress of maintaining this whole thing was beginning to wear a little bit on Burke and Hare. Not in the sense of them having remorse or guilt, but just in the sense of stress of doing it.
Yeah.
And trying to maintain the whole thing. And it was also, it was wearing on their significant others as well. So Laird, like we talked about, had been at least outsidely involved in the murder. She was definitely there.
Yeah.
Because
they were in
her
boarding
way.
house, right?
Yeah. And she was participating in some way, luring people in, help plying them with alcohol.
Yeah.
Helen McDougal, like we said, she had not actively involved herself in any of the killings up to this point.
Except the grandson.
The grandson, she didn't actively involve herself in his killing. She was only there to calm him down when he couldn't find his grandma.
Oh, okay.
So if we're talking specifically,
yeah,
was she involved in a killing? We have no evidence of that right now.
Okay.
That is,
but you're about to tell me something.
That to me is accomplished shit right there. Like you were
Hell
calming
yeah.
down this kid.
Yeah.
Did you know what was happening to his grandma or did you not?
I mean, I feel like this is a small fucking boarding house.
That's what I think, but,
I don't know.
But, she hadn't actively involved herself in any of the killings, like I said, and she's with Burke, just to lay that out first.
Yes.
So Hare actually ended up looking at that as a liability because she hadn't actively involved herself in any of the crimes, but she was around and knew what was going on, it seems like.
Yeah.
Which, it's one of those things where it's like, if you're going to be around, you better make one of the stab wounds so that we can all point to you and say you did it too.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can just go, I didn't do anything, but here's all the information. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be implicated at all.
That's how he was looking at it.
Exactly. He was like, the fact that the three of us have been actively involved in these and she isn't, but is around, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So, in fact, at one point, Hare had gone so far as to suggest that Burke kill the woman in order to protect themselves.
The fuck?
Yeah.
Hey, I think you should off your wife because she hasn't murdered with us yet.
He even came up with a plan how to do it. He wanted Burke to take her into the country for a few weeks, then write Hare and inform him of McDougal's death. And of course, in reality, the murder would have been committed in the back room of the boarding house. And with McDougal's corpse being just another one of the bodies that they gave to Dr. Knox.
It's wild. My wife died. Here she is.
Isn't that so wild?
So crazy that I've been getting all these bodies for you and now my wife died.
So and he was trying to have him set up an alibi.
Yeah.
He was trying to set this whole thing up. He had really thought about this, which is scary.
If I was Burke, right? Which one is...
Burke is with McDougal.
Yeah, if I was Burke, I'd be worried that Hare was going to kill my lady.
Yeah. Well, I guess fortunately for Helen McDougal, Burke may have been an opportunistic monster.
Yeah.
Like an actual piece of shit. But I guess his one line was that he wouldn't readily murder the woman that he claimed to love, I suppose. So they did not go forward with that plan.
Everyone's got a line.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give him anything. But
I'm not giving him anything, no.
At least he didn't do that, I guess.
Yeah.
So... I think this kind of shows the eagerness with which Hare wanted to dispatch Helen McDougal. That's kind of evidence of the growing tension, not only between the whole group, but between Burke and Hare specifically. Mm-hmm. So then the next murder really didn't do anything to relieve Burke's suspicions of Hare. This made things worse. So in early summer, Burke estimated it late June, which was around the anniversary of the Battle of Bannockburn, which I just thought was interesting, the name Bannockburn.
I like that.
Burke and McDougal had left Edinburgh for a brief period of time just to visit friends in Falkirk.
Okay.
During this time, Hare and Laird were having a lot of financial difficulties and had ended up pawning everything they owned that was of value.
Oh, everything?
Yeah. Anything that was of value, they were pawning. Yet when Burke and McDougal returned a short time later, suddenly Hare and Laird appeared to no longer have any financial troubles.
Interesting.
So when Burke asked Hare if he'd been quote unquote doing any business. You know what that means?
I love that he's like doing any business. Like these two are fucking business partners. Are you kidding
Were
me?
you doing business when I wasn't here?
Wow.
So he asked him, were you doing any business while I was away with Helen? Hare denied it, said no. However, in discussion with Dr. Knox, Burke learned that during their absence, Hare had, quote, fell in with a drunk woman in the street in the Westport and enticed her back to the boarding house, killed her, and sold the body to Knox and kept the money for himself and then lied about it.
What?
Which I'm like, wow, you guys are shitbag monsters. And now you're even being shitbag monsters to each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was only a matter of time.
It was. Like, you're not... What, you think you have a friend?
Yeah, like you're both sociopaths.
That's
you don't
the
have
thing.
a friend.
Like neither one of you gives a shit about anybody.
Right.
So for some reason, Burke and Hare started getting pretty reckless as the summer was drawing to an end. I'm not sure why. They just started getting very reckless.
The heat.
It's the heat, you know. One night, the two spotted a policeman by the name of Andrew Williamson, and he was dragging a very obviously drunk woman to the Westport watch house. So Burke saw this and called out, let that woman go on to her lodgings. And the police officer, Williamson, said he didn't know where the woman lived. That's why he was taking her to the watch house to keep her from spending the night on the street.
Yeah.
So
he's like, I'm a good person.
Like, I'm actually trying to do a good thing here, but cool. So after like a brief conversation, Burke was actually able to convince the officer to release her to him. She was brought back to the boarding house and she was murdered and sold to Knox for 10 shillings.
If you don't tell me that this is how they got caught, I am leaving the room.
According to Burke, he, quote, had a good character with police, which is why he was able to convince that police officer to release the very obviously drunk woman to him that night. But this brazen act clearly suggests a very misplaced confidence that, don't worry, in a few months at least, will result in their capture. But I'm telling you right now, this didn't do it.
I have to
He
go.
had a police officer hand a woman to him,
like,
who he murdered that night and brought back to Dr. Knox and was paid for it.
That is beyond.
And they did not get caught.
And also the fact that it took months for them to get, like, and it's sad because, again, they are taking advantage of who they believe to be, quote unquote, less dead.
Yeah.
And they're just proving that stigma, you know, by like, you literally take your victim from a police officer and the police don't even realize that this woman is who she is and that she got killed.
Exactly.
That's so fucked.
And that this police officer doesn't care. Like, just handed her over. And that was it. I don't need to know what happened to her after that.
It's so sad.
It's so sad. And it really is such a misplaced confidence, though, because he's out here being like, oh, yeah, like, look at what I did.
Right.
I convinced a police officer to give her to me. That, as horrible as this situation is, that is going to be the thing that takes them down, is them thinking that this is who they are now. They're able to have police officers just hand them victims.
They're above the law.
So that is going to be an issue for them later, but it was too little too late.
Whenever I feel like a murderer starts to get that kind of confidence, it's like a tailspin.
It's hubris.
Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Tailspin? Yeah. Ash can't say anything, but she can say tailspin.
Hell yeah. And so in the late summer, Burke and McDougal, Helen, his wife, moved from Tanner's Close, the boarding house, to a small cottage not far from the boarding house.
Okay.
There, they shared this little cottage with a couple called the Brogans.
I like that name.
I do too. It's like very, I don't know why, it's like cozy.
Yeah.
I'm just here with the Brogans.
I would call them the Brogies.
The Brogies. I would just call them the Brogues.
I'm with my Brogies.
I'm just here with my Brogans. So some have suggested that the move was Burke's attempt to keep McDougal safe because of what you were saying. After Hare and Laird had suggested that they murder her to keep her quiet, he might have felt like he had to put a little distance between Hare and his wife, which I'm like, you probably should stop murdering people with that guy too.
Seriously.
Like, I don't know.
Well, and also I bet it was that, and then I bet what added on to it was the fact that he committed a murder without him.
Yeah, and kept
then
the money.
lied about it.
Yeah.
Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
But it was at this house that Burke and Hare met their next victim.
No.
A washerwoman by the name of Mrs. Hostler. So one afternoon, the woman had just finished her washing for the day, and Burke and Hare convinced her to return the following day to have a few drinks with them. They were very charming. They were able to convince a lot of people to do this.
Sounds like it.
And she did. So the next day, after she'd become drunk, they convinced her to lie down in an adjacent room where they killed her by suffocation. So this is what they did. They get their people drunk, and then they do it. And they're people who they know are desperate. They know are on hard times. They know are going to say yes to a lot of drinks just to numb whatever is happening in their lives.
And
it's
I feel
fucked
like
up.
It is. And I feel like it's also so important to say like how long it actually takes to suffocate someone.
Oh, yeah.
Like they weren't, this wasn't like a quote unquote easy way to get away with it or like an easy way to do it. Like these people are fucking monsters. You have to stand there for like, what is it? Isn't it like 7 minutes or something?
It's very like for strangling. It's definitely, and for suffocation too. It's
probably similar.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
And it's aggressive. It's violent. It's aggressive. Like nobody's laying there motionless. They're laying there fighting for their lives, trying to breathe.
Exactly.
It's awful.
So fucked. And like for you to stand over somebody for a matter of minutes and do that, like you gotta be
shut down.
Seriously,
like there's gotta be just
nothing
there. It's just a cold, empty box in there.
It's so crazy.
Well, then they just loaded her body into a box. They stored that box in the coal house until later that afternoon, and then they transported her to Dr. Knox, and they got 8 shillings for her body.
Oh, okay.
Not a full 10.
So like all over the place.
Yeah, he's just making random assessments of price here.
Make an assessment.
So I thought of that same thing, make an assessment. Not long after the murder of Hostler, Burke, I don't know why I just said that all in one sentence. Don't you hate when you go to read a sentence that you wrote and you're like, how do I speak?
How do I say that out loud? Well, sometimes when you type something, it sounds different in your head than the way you say it out loud.
That's the thing. Or I forget a punctuation mark, and then my brain just runs everything together.
I'm a punctuation monster. I like over punctuate everything.
See, that's what happened here, and then my brain's like, no comma, just keep going.
Who gives a fuck about an
But what I
Oxford
meant
comma?
was, not long after the murder of Hostler, Burke and McDougal welcomed into their home Anne McDougal. Same last name. Yes, it's a cousin of Helen's.
Bitch.
It was actually a cousin of Helen's previous husband, so like technically...
Cousin-in-law?
Yeah.
That's a cousin, though. Drew's cousins are my cousins.
Still a cousin.
I love them.
Still a cousin. One afternoon, while the Brogans, the other couple that they were living with, were out of the house, Burke and Hare murdered Anna McDougal.
They murdered his wife's cousin.
Yep.
What?
And it was with Hare doing most of the work, of course. Burke was not the one who did most of the work. So clearly Hare is trying to like put some kind of message out there.
Yeah, like assert
he's
his
getting
dominance.
closer to her. Like,
oh my God.
And it's like Burke is allowing it.
That made my stomach
going
flip,
along
actually.
with it. Yeah, because he's like, I'm killing your family members now.
Oh my God, he is. They're both fucked, but like that's another level.
Yeah, I can't. And because of this whole like, it's a relative thing. Yeah. Burke said that he did not like to begin first on her because she was a relative of
Oh,
Helen.
totally,
Yeah.
totally.
So don't worry
totally.
about that.
Was the wife like, hey, what happened to my fucking cousin?
Yeah. She was like, what's going on here? But they loaded her body into a trunk and they intended to take her body to Knox. But before they had the chance, the Brogans came home. Ooh. And knowing that no one in the house owned a trunk, they started asking several questions as to the origin of this trunk that was now sitting in their house.
I'm going to admit something to you. I thought they put her in the trunk of a car because I forgot that we were like way back.
We were way back.
I was like, nobody owned a trunk. And
No
then I was
one
like,
owned it.
oh,
You're like,
and
an
like a
actual
steamer trunk.
Exactly.
Got you.
When it became clear the couple was not going to stop asking these questions, Burke and Hare,
Hey, where'd this fucking trunk come from and what's in it?
like they were literally like, hey, where did this trunk come from? And they're like, don't worry about it. And then like
They're also like, don't open it.
they like walk in the other room and put their coats up and they're like, but about that trunk, like, do you have any information? And they're like, no, we don't. And then they're like, okay, cool.
Can we open it and like see?
Can we like open the trunk and maybe just see what's inside? No, we can't.
Well,
Okay.
maybe there's like a name inside.
Do you guys want dinner? Yeah, we would love dinner. Do you want to like, should we ask the trunk if it wants to be part of dinner? Like what, they just weren't going to let the trunk go.
I don't blame them. I'm not going to let a random appearing trunk in my home go.
I'm not. And Burke and Hare eventually, for the record,
Sorry.
Burke and Hare eventually sat down with the Brogans, Mr. Brogan, and explained the entire situation to him.
They said, hey, it's just like times are tough and we like to make extra money by murder. And what do you think?
And then they said, hey, do you want to be in on this and get some of the money if you don't say anything? And he was like, okay.
And he meant it?
Yep. And he meant it. He said, okay.
I thought you were going to say he meant it and then he motioned for the police.
He said,
I know you can't call them back then.
He said, yeah, that's fine with me.
Wow. How does horseshit find horseshit that then finds some more horseshit?
What's crazy too is that with each murder committed in this particular period, they're just growing increasingly reckless, first of all. And they're also pulling apart from each other drastically.
Yeah.
They're doing things on their own. They're not listening. They're killing each other's relatives at this point. Like, shit's going down. Now they're inviting other people into this whole scheme. Like, bitch, the more people you have in this scheme, the more shit is going to fall apart.
It's not the merrier.
No, it is not the merrier. They're also splitting that profit in way more pieces, which is way less advantageous to them they're murdering people.
Yeah.
And now you're splitting the profits like, now they're splitting it 4 ways.
But are they not because Laird's, this one didn't take place in Laird's boarding home?
I think because she is part of it, she gets that 1 shilling just for her silence.
Oh, I see.
That's how he's able to hold all these people. They are able to hold all these people. And that's why McDougal is such a liability to them because she's not getting anything for it. She's not getting anything for her silence.
Yep.
And they're not just going to pay her unless she has something to do with it because you need her hand to have blood on it. So you can go, she did it too.
Yep.
That way she's not going to be eager to go to the authorities because then she has to admit that she's been part of it.
Okay.
So they're not getting that from her.
This is nutso.
So that brings us to the beginning of the end.
Oh.
So for obvious reasons, and with very few exceptions, Burke and Hare killed mainly elderly and incapacitated and transient, like down on their luck women.
Yeah.
That seems to be their MO.
Oh, they go away from it.
That, well, although they were almost always opportunists, like they were always just, they weren't like following people and like trolling for days, you know what I mean? Their preferred victim type likely had something to do with the fact that women were just much easier to overpower in their mind. And that, but what's wild is like at least one of them, and probably more of them, there was evidence that they tried to fight back and resist. And this became very evident in this whole thing that like they were definitely doing this because they could overpower their victims.
Yeah.
It became evident that they thought this was the case and that it wasn't in October when they murdered James Wilson, who was otherwise known as Daft Jamie.
What does like daft mean again?
So I'll explain to you. According to George McGregor Wilson, he was described as, quote, a lad who, while deficient in intellect, was kind at heart.
Don't you dare.
He was a
ruin me
universal
right now.
favorite.
Stop.
among the townspeople he was. Now, Jamie's had a very kind nature. He was not confrontational. He was not an aggressive man.
Oh.
The people loved him. He was like very beloved, but he also was kind of like a frequent target of bullies.
Fuck that.
They would just like taunt him and shit. And in his early 20s, by the time of this happening, Jamie's father had died many years earlier, and his mother was a hawker who was often traveling, selling goods. So he spent a lot of his time just wandering the streets in Edinburgh.
If Jamie doesn't live, I'm leaving.
So as a result of this, he became a very familiar figure to people around town.
Yeah.
Especially to the people who would, just out of the kindness of their heart, give him food and gifts because he was just a nice kid.
Oh,
and he's in his 20s at this point, but I say kid, but that's a kid too.
That's a kid, yeah.
And they kind of like looked after him in a way because like they just knew he was like, you know, he needed it.
See, there is some kind of community here.
Yeah, there is.
I was looking for it.
There is. Now, Jamie Wilson was definitely not only the antithesis of a typical Burke and Hare victim because he was not a drinker. He was not a woman.
Right.
He was pretty strong.
He's not an older person.
He's not older. And he's well known to everybody in town. Mm-hmm. Very well known. Like this is like front page of Time magazine kind of well known.
Like even more so than the previous.
Very more so.
Yeah.
So this is just like totally the antithesis of their typical victim. He was also the stupidest choice for a victim. Because, like I said, he didn't drink. You're not going to ply him away with alcohol.
Yeah.
So what the fuck is your move?
And then you're going to
idiots?
have to overpower him while he's sober.
Yeah.
He can fight you.
He's not going to be easily lured away. And when he is suddenly gone, everyone's going to notice immediately.
Yeah, he's like everyone's kid.
You're not going to be able to bring him to Dr. Knox and have it be like, oh yeah, it's just weird. Daft Jamie just dropped dead. It's like, no, no one's going to believe that. Now, it was actually Margaret Laird who'd chosen Jamie as a victim because she discovered him alone and looking for his mother at a grass market one day in early October.
Fuck you, Margaret.
Yep.
Fuck
That's what I said. Now, according to Burke, Jamie agreed to accompany her back to the boarding house, but he was very anxious the entire walk back to the house and kept asking questions.
Oh my God, you're ruining me.
When they reached the house, Laird left Jamie with Hare while she went to find Burke, whom she eventually found at a local shop, and the two of them went back to Tanner's Close, the boarding house. Back at the house, Laird left the three men alone, which they offered Jamie some drinks, and after a little while, and Jamie did drink with them.
Yeah.
He became a little tired and laid down at the bed, and that's the point where Hare laid next to him. No. A few minutes passed before Hare threw himself on top of Jamie and attempted to cover his mouth and nose.
But it didn't work.
The same thing.
It didn't work.
Jamie, however, was neither drunk or incapacitated at this point, so he started struggling and resisting, and the two men fell from the bed and continued to struggle on the floor. Eventually, though, Burke was able to get a hold of Jamie's feet and legs, which he held tight as Hare suffocated Jamie.
No.
So they almost lost this one. And this was the stupidest. Thank goodness they were so stupid, but this is so tragic.
I'm like, so.
They're all tragic, but this one's just like,
yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like, and like Margaret, go fuck yourself.
Like he's looking for his mom, and that's when you fucking prey
upon him. And he's clearly like,
yeah,
like intellectually a little immature.
Yeah,
and it's like he's looking for his mother, and he's like in his early 20s. Like, come on, man.
That is fucking disgusting.
It's vile. It's really vile.
I'm so angry right now.
It's and.
Oh, I had hope.
I know. I felt bad building you up like that, but I was like, I don't know how else to say
that's how you tell the story.
Yeah. Now, in nearly every case, Burke and Hare were very careful to get rid of their victims' clothing and whatever possession the victim had on them at the time.
So
if
they would just
had
be like,
anything.
I found them naked.
Essentially, they just bring the body to Dr. Knox. And in this case, though, their victim had a lot of belongings. Most of the time, their victim didn't have a lot of things on them because they didn't have a lot of things in the world.
Was he walking around with a lot of his things?
He had a lot of belongings, and he had some things of value because he was, which they ended up just splitting between them.
Yeah,
they just stole all the things, and eventually they gave his clothing to Burke's brother, who passed them on to his younger children.
And he knew?
Yep.
Fuck this.
Yep. So, and this is the thing. So his brother didn't know. but like they knew that he was going to be. They knew that Constantine was going to give these clothes to his children.
Yeah, that's
and they still
literally
allowed
gross.
it to happen.
Yeah, because they have actually no souls.
Yeah, because Constantine, Burke, and the children didn't recognize the clothing, so they were just like, okay. They did eventually end up trading them for like other items in town, but still. So putting Jamie's very recognizable clothing and belongings out in the public, because they were selling these goods now too.
Right.
That was a really bad idea.
Because it's not like you just like sold them to like some random person. You literally gave them to people in town that are connected to you.
Exactly. And then you sold the belongings he had to people in town who are like, wait, I know what this is.
And I got that from Burke. I got that from Hare or Laird.
Exactly. So the more significant problem was that the boy would almost certainly be recognized by Dr. Knox.
Right.
That was the biggest problem. Like when you bring this kid in, they're going to know exactly who he is. So indeed, when it was brought to him, he wasn't home, but when they arrived with the body, his assistant didn't really look very quickly.
Okay.
So he just was like, okay. And he was like, you know what? Can you return the next day? And, Knox will be here and he'll pay you. So the next day when they did inspect the body, several of Knox's students were like, that's Jamie.
Oh.
And they were like, what the fuck? But Knox was like, you know what? Ready the body for dissection. So he 100% recognized this body, but he was like, just ready for it for dissection.
What the actual fuck?
And then he assured his students this ever so fresh male subject could not possibly be anyone they knew.
What?
Yeah.
Like, you really need to dissect that bad? You've had, how many bodies have we had up to this point? 15?
Yeah.
Like, I think you've learned some stuff.
Or
maybe
I think
we
14
could
at this point.
take a second.
Yeah.
The fuck?
And later, these students were interviewed by police later, obviously, because they were very much unwillingly involved in this.
Exactly.
They all told investigators they were pretty certain this was Jamie, but they didn't want to swear on it because Knox had told them that it wasn't.
Well, and then they're being intimidated by somebody who has power.
So they're like,
and can determine their future.
Exactly. So the final murder occurred on October 31st.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did they do that like on purpose?
I don't know. This is when Burke met Mary Docherty, and it was in a Reimer's grocery store that morning on October 31st. So like the grandmother the pair had brutally murdered earlier that summer, Docherty had come from out of town in search of her son.
Oh.
And was virtually unknown to anyone in Edinburgh.
Oh, no.
So Burke struck up a conversation with this older woman, telling her that he'd also come to Edinburgh. He was from Ireland. And, wow, crazy. My mom's maiden name is Docherty. So maybe we're related.
Probably not.
So in what she likely took as a friendly gesture, Burke invited her back to the home for breakfast with he and his wife. And she was like, great, absolutely,
really
friends.
Excited to make a friend, exactly.
Maybe they can help me find my son, that kind of thing. So once they were in the house, Helen McDougall tended to this new guest, while Burke went off in search of Hare.
Okay.
When he'd finally found Hare, they went back to Burke's house, where they found Helen and the guests cleaning up after breakfast. Well, it would have been pretty easy for them to overpower and murder Mrs. Docherty because she was very frail.
Sure.
The real issue that they were facing was getting rid of the couple who had been staying with Burke and McDougall for over a week. There was another couple in the house.
And they must have seen her come in and eat breakfast.
Exactly. So they were like, fuck. So they're trying to think quickly here, and Burke told this couple that he'd run into an old family friend, and he wondered if it would be, terribly inconvenient for them to maybe find another place to stay for a night or two, just so they could have this Mrs. Docherty, this family friend. He even went as far as suggesting they could stay with Hare and Laird for a few days. And the couple said, sure.
Uh-huh.
So that evening, things went about the usual way. So the couples had dinner with Mary Docherty, Burke and Hare and Laird, and
they shared like multiple meals with this woman.
Like really got to know her.
Wow.
Probably heard all about her life.
All about her missing son.
They had dinner with her at Burke and McDougall's home. Afterwards, they sang, they danced, they drank, had a great time with her.
They literally like had a little party.
It's, I just can't even. But whatever the case was, whether this was a planned ruse that way or if they just really got into it that night and were like enjoyed her company and still decided to go through it, around 10 or 11 that night, it became a little loud and disruptive because they were that's in like happy, loud and disruptive, not fighting. Like,
yeah, they were like having
dancing,
fun,
drinking, singing, and it was drawing attention of neighbors. So people wanted to know what was going on. So a woman from the house next door went to look through the window, and she saw what she later told police was Helen McDougal, quote, holding a bottle to the mouth of Doherty, pouring the whiskey down her throat.
I always knew that I saw Helen McDougal for exactly who the fuck she was.
Later that evening, the disruption continued when Burke and Hare got into an actual argument, a violent one, and they only stopped when Mary Doherty fell from her stool and crashed onto the floor.
Oh, no, Mary.
And she couldn't get up. So Laird and McDougal, the two women, used the opportunity to get out of the house, which is when Burke and Hare used the same method that they always used to suffocate Mrs. Doherty. But they did do something a little different with her, which I don't know if this was them trying something different that they were going to employ from here on out, or if this was just, I don't know.
Okay.
But whichever man was doing the actual suffocating, at some point they had used their hand to strangle Mrs. Doherty around the throat, and this left deep bruises on her neck. Now, she was dead. They stripped her of her belongings, and Burke sent for Knox's assistant, and they explained that they just had another body to sell.
Wow, crazy.
I can't. Now, with this, also, so they make the call. They're like, hey, you need to pick up this body tomorrow. And then they just went about the party, drinking, dancing, until the early hours of the morning.
With a dead body in
that
the
they
next
just
room
murdered
that
brutally.
They had just, exactly.
Yep.
Wow.
So the following day, November 1st, Burke went to the boarding house to check on the lodgers that had been sent to the house.
Right.
And invite them back home for breakfast, saying that, you know, their family friend, that old woman that they had met yesterday, she had grown very impudent, perhaps having taken too much liquor, and they found it necessary to put her out. Mm-hmm. That's how they wanted to put it.
Put her out.
Yeah. So one of these lodgers, Mrs. Gray, thought that Burke was behaving a little strangely. And she said he was very nervously watching her and calling after her when she began cleaning around a pile of straw near the corner of the room. Burke kept up his weird, like, anxious behavior for most of the morning. And when several of the occupants of the house needed to go out that afternoon, Burke actually instructed Mr. Brogan, who knows about all this stuff now, to sit in a chair by the bed in the corner and not move until he returned.
Okay, Blair Witch, what the fuck?
So he did. He sat in the chair. He didn't ask questions at first. And then when Burke left the house, he waited until he was out of sight. Because remember, this guy just joined this whole thing. He just wanted money.
Yeah.
He's not going to save your ass. So Burke's
still
out of
a bad
sight.
person.
So, and also, he doesn't give a shit. Like, This is not a good guy. This is somebody who just doesn't give a shit.
Exactly.
So when he tells him, you got to sit by this corner of the bed near the straw in the corner, he's like, sure. So he sits there. Burke leaves. Once he's out of his sight, Brogan just leaves the house. Like, he was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, like, fuck off.
So he left the house. And then Mrs. Gray, the lodger, who thought that he was acting very strange, she's now alone in the house.
Yeah.
And she takes this opportunity to investigate
bitch,
whatever it was by the bed that Burke was definitely trying to hide and was definitely trying to have, like, guarded by Mr. Brogan. So she starts poking around the straw pile in the bed, next to the bed, and she found the nude body of Mary Doherty.
Can you imagine?
All around her mouth and nose.
Why did she have blood around her mouth and nose?
Because she had been violently strangled. And probably, I'm assuming they might have, like, hit her or something.
Oh my God.
Something bad happened there. And she also had fallen from her stool.
Right.
I don't know if she had any, like, traumatic fall there. So she literally finds this naked old woman who was clearly murdered in a pile of straw in the corner of their bedroom.
Wow. So she knows why she was sent out the night before.
So she immediately tells her husband.
She's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
And the two of them start gathering up all their belongings, and they're like, we're getting the fuck out of here.
But then...
So Mrs. Gray is packing, and Mr. Gray started carrying things downstairs, and as this is happening, he ran into Helen McDougal.
I knew one of those fuckers was lurking.
This part of the show is brought to you by Anua, the Korean skincare brand known for scientific, gentle, yet effective formulations. The latest from Anua is the Retinol Collagen Gua Sha Cream, a firming cream with a gua sha-shaped tip built right in. Have you guys heard of gua sha? It's that viral massage tool that moves fluid and tension out of your face. Less puffiness, a snatched jawline, honey, more definition in your face. Retinol firms and reduces fine lines, and collagen keeps your skin plump and structured. This cream has both of those things, arguably the most optimal combo for that snatched, lifted look all in one step. I am obsessed with the Gua Sha cream. First of all, it feels so cool to the touch. When you put that on your face, it's just like, this is lovely. It's like a little spa treatment that you can give yourself. I like to do mine at night after I get out of the shower. I rub the cream on my face with the little gua sha. I'm sculpting that jawline, honey. I got it on the cheekbones. And actually, I had a facial the other day, and the lady doing my facial, the professional, she said, do you use a gua sha at home? And I said, I do. And I said, how did you know that? And she said, I didn't have those little like bumps in my chin or like different areas like that. So she could tell that I was using the gua sha. And I said, oh my God. I just feel like I wake up less puffy in the morning when I do it the night before. But you can do it whenever you want to. I, 10 out of 10, recommend this product. The Anua Gua Sha Cream Value Set is available at anua.com, already discounted. Use code MORBID for an extra 10% off. That's ANUA.com, code MORBID. The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
When he ran into Helen McDougal, he demanded that she explain what the fuck was going on. Like, he was like, you tell me why the fuck there's a body in that bedroom.
Yeah.
Like, you tell me. And at first, she tried to just, like, dismiss the question.
Yeah, because she's a little butthead.
But he kept pushing. He was like, no, you literally can't dismiss a body in your bedroom. Like, you need to explain that.
A naked old woman's body in your bedroom.
Like, tell me what that's about.
The fuck?
And so she finally broke down and said, I suppose you know very well what it is.
I don't, though.
And then she begged Mr. Gray not to say anything, and then offered him several shillings in exchange for silence. And then then Helen told Mr. Gray that Doherty had died that night from an overdose of drink.
Yeah, right, bitch. Why is her mouth all bloody?
But he did not believe her.
Of course
he was
not.
like, no. And then she decided to switch her tactics. You remember, innocent McDougal over here. Remember, everybody.
I don't remember because I always had her number.
Poor innocent Helen. No. She had nothing to do with this.
Fuck Helen.
She decided to change her tactics when Mr. Gray wasn't going to believe she overdosed on drinks, so we stripped her naked and hid her in a pile of straw.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, and she started trying to convince him to join in on the scheme.
He's like, yeah, I have a conscience, though. That's the only problem.
Helen's also an actual piece of shit. All four of these assholes are pieces of shit.
I knew it. I knew there was too much going on for her not to know about. And the fact that she went along with it and didn't get paid is, like, wild.
Yeah, it truly is.
That says even more.
Yeah, truly.
Like, I'm not saying, like, well, sure, they were getting paid, so that's why they did it. But it's like, wow, you weren't even in on this.
Yeah, you weren't even, like, what the hell was going on in your head?
You were still cool with it.
Yep. And so she couldn't convince them to join the scheme. She wasn't getting a promise of silence from them. So she followed them into town.
Oh, shit.
And they ran into Laird in town.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
Somehow the Grays agreed to join Laird and McDougal at a nearby public house for like a drink. What? And the women continued to try to convince them to stay quiet. They bought them rounds of drinks. They used every argument they could to try to convince them that this was something that was fine ethically.
Y'all don't drink a drink that they buy you.
What's good is they were very unpersuasive. The Greys got a bunch of free drinks out of the deal.
There you go.
And they left the bar that afternoon and went straight to the police.
Love that. I love that they're like, you know what? Yeah, we could
You can
use
buy
a
me
few
some drinks
brewskis.
first. Yeah. But when they went to the police, they were made to wait several hours for someone to even listen to their story.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That checks.
So when Mr. Gray was finally able to tell his stories to a police sergeant, the officer said that Gray was simply a disgruntled tenant looking to cause problems for his landlords.
I'd be like, do you want to like maybe go talk to anyone about this though?
So that's what he was like. Do you want to come back to the house
And like check and see
and
if
maybe
the body's still
come
there?
see this corpse in the corner of a room? Do you want to do that? So they were like, yeah, totally. So he went with Mr. Gray to the home of Burke and McDougal.
The body
and
was
Burke
gone.
confirmed the sergeant's theory, saying that the Greys were former tenants and that he'd had to turn them out for bad conduct.
Oh, please.
So Burke was like, yeah, you're right. Like they
They
shitty.
just suck.
They're just shitty tenants. But then the officer did a little search of the home, and there he found spatters of blood on the bed sheets
Yup.
and the floor. And this was all where she had been killed before being brought to Knox.
Yeah.
And it all matched up with what Gray had told the police.
Right.
It was the same room. It was the spatters made sense for what had happened. So when asked, Burke and McDougal gave very inconsistent stories about who the woman was, when she left. And this alone was enough for the police to be like, you two need to come in and we're going to question you
You
further.
think?
Because they were like, you can't agree who she was or when she even left.
And
like, are
why
you kidding
she's
me?
in your house? Like
So-
she's literally in your fucking house.
So Burke and McDougal were taken down to the police station for questioning. The
Okay.
next day, officers went back to Burke's home to do a more thorough search, and they found more blood stains, and they also found Mary Docherty's blood-stained clothing. Meanwhile, additional officers, they also brought a police surgeon, Dr. Black. They all went to Dr. Knox's address, where they discovered Docherty's
Yeah.
Docherty's body being readied for dissection.
Oh my.
Yeah. So they had the bloody clothing and the body now in their possession. And
Holy
so
shit.
now more officers were sent to Hare and Laird's boarding house, where they informed Margaret Laird that Captain Stewart wished to see her husband. So as they had done with the Greys, Laird tried to just dismiss the whole thing. The whole evening's events are being misunderstood here. She overdosed. We didn't do anything. It was just drunken revelry. But she was very unsuccessful, just as they were. And both Hare and Laird were taken into custody as well. And Burke and McDougal now were officially arrested after being questioned. Hare and Laird are just being brought in for questioning. So throughout the fall of 1828, Burke and Hare made tons of reckless and very risky decisions. In the beginning, they were doing things pretty undercover. Mm-hmm. They got so fucking reckless.
It
at the
unraveled.
end. Like, it's really wild to watch. It's a true downfall for them. But they were so fucking brazen and so weirdly confident that they could get away from this.
It is crazy how confident they were.
That's the thing. Like, Burke was even trying to explain away why Docherty was in his house. Like, why her body was in his house. Like,
And that
it's
just
wild.
goes to show how fucking like delusional they were, or like like confident. It's like, what? Like, you really thought that was going to make sense? Or that was really going to work?
Wait until you hear the story he tells.
Oh,
you want to
God.
hear because he told
do
one
wanna hear
story,
it.
and now this is the other story he tells.
Okay.
So his first formal explanation for why Docherty's body was in his home, according to Burke, he and McDougal had begun their day like any other day.
With
Any
murder?
other day. And suddenly a man approaches him looking to have some shoes mended. He's a cobbler, after all.
Oh my, I literally forgot that.
Yeah, Burke had never seen the man. He didn't remember his name. He couldn't tell you anything about him, but he agreed to help him out, and he took his shoes and began to work. And while he's working on this stranger's shoes, this stranger just drags a trunk into his house while he's working on his shoes.
This can't be
And
real.
he's working. He's just working, and he's like, I don't know why you have that crazy trunk in here, but that's fine. And Burke said, it's so weird. I could hear the man removing the ropes that were used to secure the trunk. And then I found, I heard this sound of a man like burying something under a pile of straw, I think it was. Like, that's the sound that I heard.
No, I must go.
And I think that pile of straw was next to the bed. Yeah, it sounded like that.
I've left.
And he said, and then that man left.
Me
and then I
too.
discovered what that man had left in my house, and I tracked him down, and I demanded that he come back and he remove this body. And this guy said, sure, I will, but I can't come back until tomorrow morning to do it. And he said, okay, my guy, I guess.
Okay, my guy.
He said, all right, I guess I'll go back and just live with this naked dead body in a pile of straw in the corner of my bedroom for tonight.
As one does.
And then you come back and you take this out.
And I didn't know him at all, but I just figured he was good on his word.
Yeah, he seemed like a trustworthy guy.
This murderer, he just seemed,
Yep.
like...
This stranger
with a
who
dead
literally
body.
approached me in town. I don't remember his name or his face.
What
Couldn't
does
tell
he
you a
look
damn
like?
thing about him. He asked me to cobble a fucking shoe. I said, sure, why not? He came back to my house with me. He drags a trunk in my house. I hear him burying a body. I find said body, find him in town and say, hey, you better come get that body out of my house. And he says, I'll do it tomorrow morning. And you say, I believe you. I
Good on you,
believe
brother.
you, sir. I think you will come back. I think you will come back and get this body.
I'm shooketh.
And he said this to investigators, like they were not going to be like, are you
Liar.
fucking shitting me? Are you shitting my dick, Burke? Are you really saying this story to me, a seasoned fucking investigator? And I'm going to go, wow, what bad luck.
Did they even
What shitty luck Burke has.
Did they even give him an answer? Were they just like, you know what, we have to go now. You're going to jail. Bye.
Oh yeah, and then because I'm sure it was one of those things where he went through that whole thing and they all just stared at him and you could hear the blink 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 blink. Because then he was like, yeah, and it's crazy. I met that woman earlier in the day. Because he
couldn't
This
stop.
isn't absurd enough. We have to add on to it. He goes, yeah, she was begging for money, and he said, out of the kindness of my heart, I invited her back to my house for a meal and for some drinks. And she returned to town after that, after I had fed her, after I had
so she
given
went
her
to your
alcohol.
house.
She left my house and she went back into town, and I said goodbye. I hope
said
you have a great
goodbye.
night. I hope that I have fed you well. I hope I have done I hope I have done what the teachings have told me to do, to feed you, to bring you in. And I send you back out to town. And he goes, I never saw her again.
Until
I
she
never
was
saw
back
her
in my
again.
house.
Until that man left her dead body in my house.
Like, what a coincidence.
And he says a day or two later, the stranger sent two men who Burke had never met before to
this is
retrieve
Men in
the
Black
body.
now?
And he goes, one of those men who I had never seen before came to my house, and his name was William Hare. So now he is claiming that this stranger that dragged a trunk into his house that contained a dead woman who he had met earlier that day, brought to his house to feed and give drink because he was just so kind, sent back into fucking town to be murdered by this stranger that dragged her in a trunk in his house and hid her in a pile of straw in the corner of his bedroom. He claims that he went back into town, found this man, said, you need to come get this body out of my house. This man said, I'll come back later. This man said, I'm sending two of my guys to come get this lady. And he said, sure. These guys show up at his house and he says, never saw him before, just two strangers to me. But one of them was William Hare.
Like, motherfucker, you've been seen around town. I could ask, like, Joe Schmo from down the street, like, hey, Burke and Hare? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, those fuckers.
I'm shook.
Like, you're well known in town. Not only are you friends, your wives are friends. You have, you're a squad of 4.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
what?
Yep.
And, ah!
It's unbelievable.
It's unhinged behavior.
And this is fucking ridiculous. It's incredible that he told this story thinking it was going to do anything but make everybody go, what? But you know why every part of the story makes sense for why he put it in there. As absurd as it is, he was trying to explain, one, why people, because he knew he had been seen everywhere. He had been seen with this woman. He had been seen with he had been seen with Hare. He had been seen everywhere. So he's doing this to say why people had seen him with Mary Doherty, both in town and at his home, because neighbors had seen her in his home. 2, why her body and traces of blood were found in his house. He's explaining that away.
Of course.
Why the body had been seen by Gray at the house, but then when the officers came back later that day, it was gone. He's saying, well, those two men came and took her away.
So that's what I have to tell you.
And it's also to say why Hare had been seen selling the body to Dr. Knox the next day, because he was one of those strange men who came and got that body.
I have, like, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I have to go. Like, what?
It's absurd. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, wow, you really you tried to hit every possible thing that could connect you to this and explain every part of this, but in the stupidest way imaginable.
Seriously.
Like, really wild. And even more wild and unfortunate for him was that it didn't line up with fucking McDougal's fucking confession about it, because they didn't talk about this.
She's like, nah, me and my hubby are bros with them. Sorry we murdered.
One of the main discrepancies between his version of events that he just told, that wild yarn that he just spun.
Oh my God, I love when people call it like a crazy story a yarn. Yes.
The main difference and the main issue between that yarn and the one that McDougal's going to tell is that she was like, yeah, we spent the day drinking with William Hare and his lady, Margaret Laird.
Because we're friends.
And they're like, oh, like one of the guys who came to get the body that Burke has never met and didn't know who he was.
You guys spent multiple months, if not years. Was it years that they spent killing? Years
I mean, months at the very least. It's like...
And you didn't ever, like, I'm happy that you didn't, but, like, it's mind-boggling to me that not once did you sit down and say, hey, like, if we do end up getting caught,
we got to do this.
This is what we'll say. Yeah. Hey Helen, hey Laird, come on over. This is our story that we should stick to.
Yeah.
You fucking imbeciles.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yep.
What?
Yep. It's wild.
I have to go.
I love thinking about Burke being like, and then these two men show up and they come to get the body. And I said, oh my God, this stranger's in my house coming to get this body of this woman that out of the kindness of my heart, I fed and I sent into town. And then she was dragged in a trunk into my house. This is wild. These two strange men. And these two strange men, one of them is William Hare. It's wild. I've never met that man before in my life. I don't even know who he is. I don't know him. I don't know him, investigators. I do not know him. And then they're like, cool, thank you. And they go into the next room and they're like, hey, Helen, can you tell me what you're doing today? And she's like, oh my God, absolutely.
Totally.
We were drinking all afternoon with William Hare and his lady, Margaret Laird. And it's like, wow.
You know, people never cease to surprise me.
Never.
Never.
After McDougal pretty much gave up the ghosts there.
After she shot a fucking megalodon-sized hole in that story. Like, the fuck?
Ripped a hole the size of the ozone layer in that story.
I think that's healing.
Oh, good for that.
Yeah.
Good for that
news.
Hole.
Yeah, we've closed it up a little.
We're doing something right.
I don't know, electric cars,
You know what? Positivity.
Yeah.
I like that.
Look at the joy candle.
Look at that joy candle.
Anyway.
She's standing up straight.
She cute.
But after that, Burke was like, okay, yeah, I murdered her. Like, he was literally like...
He's like, so sorry that I took a creative writing class a few weeks ago and got confused with that while I was here, but I did kill her.
Because they just came over and were like, hey...
you drank with them
We know
today.
that you're, like, real bro-y with William Hare.
We
like,
know that
do you want to edit that statement you gave? And that's all it took. He was like... Yeah, I murdered Mary Doherty and several other people.
That would literally, like, from the sounds of how close these couples were, that would be like me saying, like, if John like walked into a room and the police were like, "Hey, do you know that man?" I'd be like, "Never seen him before in my life."
No, never seen him.
And they're like, "But you've referenced him on this podcast multiple times, and
You're
I think that literally
I
might be your sister's husband." And I'm like, "No, I've literally never seen him.
I don't know that man.
I don't know her.
He's a stranger." Like, I don't know that person. It's truly wild.
What?
It's really, you can see now, like, they were just dumb. Just dumb,
Stupid.
Angry guys. That's all.
Dumb, angry guys.
Yeah. So basically, the authorities in Edinburgh knew that in order to get a conviction, they just had to get the four of them to turn on each other.
Yeah,
that's right.
which
There's
was
four of them.
Seemingly easy.
Yeah. And it might have been because of his younger age or because Doherty's body had been discovered in Burke's house. But Lord Advocate William Ray, he determined that Hare would be the one most likely to turn on Burke.
Okay.
Because although Burke is agreeing that he knows Hare, he hasn't thrown him completely under the bus yet.
Hare also just like gives me more diabolical vibes.
Yeah, and Hare's going to turn on Burke. He's going to turn on McDougal, and they were like, he's going to turn on Laird. I don't think he's got any kind of loyalty to these people.
Hare is the one that does the actual suffocating, right?
Yeah, I think he's the aggressor.
Okay,
for sure. But they both are. But Hare's just something about him.
Yeah,
You're right.
Just,
it makes me a little scareder.
Agreed.
A little more scared of him.
Agreed.
I don't know why. I thought it was kind of funny that like Burke essentially like implicated Hare already, but like go off king, I guess. Like sure, Hare's going to turn on Burke.
Sure.
But despite that, Ray's assumptions seem to have been pretty well placed because he offered Hare immunity in exchange for a full confession, and Hare happily accepted. He said, "Glad that I got my neck out of the halter. And as for poor Bill Burke, well, he must go hang, I suppose." Sold his friend right up the river.
God.
And was like, guess he's got to hang.
He never gave a shit about him.
No, he didn't give a shit about anybody.
I don't give a shit about either of them. Fuck both of these losers.
From the moment they were arrested and put in a jail cell, all four of the accused were prevented from seeing or speaking to each other. They couldn't communicate at all until the trial.
Good.
And this makes it that it was probably a huge surprise to Burke that Hare had literally turned completely against him because he had no idea. He went into trial being like, doo-doo-doo. And then it's like, all of a sudden Hare's like, I'm the star witness. It's like, what? Like, that must have been like, excuse me?
Well, and he probably especially didn't expect that because he was the one that really did more of the like so actual suffocating.
He's like, are you fucking kidding me? So as Lisa Rosner pointed out, when the warrants for arrest and incarceration were handed down, Burke and McDougal probably had some idea that the Lord Advocate was being given information by either Laird or Hare.
Like, the Lord Advocate.
I know, isn't that like a wild...
Like, okay, Scott Disick.
Right?
Step aside. I'm the Lord Advocate.
Lord Advocate. So he probably had an idea that information was being given by Hare and Laird. Like the first warrant for the murder of Mary Docherty was sworn out against all four, and so was the second one, which was was for the murder of James Wilson. And only after Hare's detailed confession, the warrant for Wilson's murder was amended and was only against Burke and McDougal. So Hare had no against it. The same happened for the warrant for the murder of Mary Patterson, which only named Burke and McDougal as the perpetrators in that one too.
Oh.
So now
getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl. Or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70.
Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
Burke and McDougal are being
Wow, I did not see that coming.
I didn't either.
Damn.
Now, like we said throughout this whole thing, it's very unclear the exact extent that Helen McDougal played in these murders. She obviously participated in some way, be it an outside side thing. You know, like she definitely had knowledge of what was happening here. Like definitely had it. But throughout the murder spree and confessions, William Burke went to great lengths to completely distance Helen from any of the schemes and to protect her from any prosecution. And for that reason, Burke probably felt even doubly betrayed when he learned that Hare hadn't just sold him out, but had also sold McDougal out.
Right.
Because throughout the entire thing, he had tried to protect her. And it's like now he made sure to, like, and that's the thing, Hare was just so fucking happy to be able to put McDougal in that whole thing.
He literally wanted to kill her, so.
Yeah. Now, over the centuries after this, Helen McDougal's name has kind of disappeared from this retelling of this story. Like, she's in there, but no one points to her as like, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah,
during all
exactly.
that?
I do.
But at the time of Hare's confession, which they basically were, they were really going off of Hare's confession at this point. He identified her as equally responsible for the crimes. And so Burke and McDougal were the only two prosecuted for the murders.
Are you kidding me?
Burke and McDougal were indicted December 8th, 1828 for the murders of Mary Dougherty, James Wilson, and Mary Patterson. Their trial began December 24th, and it went a full 24 hours. It was presided over...
Into Christmas?
It went into Christmas. It was presided over by a panel of 4 justices. It began at 9 a.m., and from the moment the doors were opened, the courtroom was packed.
Yeah, because back then you could just like fucking find your way into a courtroom.
And they just wanted to see these ghouls. They had read a ton about them in the paper because there was tons of media surrounding this case. And after they read the indictments, both of the accused pleaded not guilty. Before the trial could begin, however, Burke's attorney argued it was inappropriate for his client to be tried for 3 unconnected murders. And after a long discussion, the justices agreed with Burke's attorney.
Interesting.
And ruled in favor of trying one case at a time.
Okay.
So they didn't want to try the 3 unconnected murders in one trial. So after they announced the decision, Lord Advocate William Ray was given the opportunity to choose which charge he wanted to begin with. And he chose the murder of Dougherty because he figured it was the strongest case.
Right.
So the trial went on with several witnesses saying they had seen Dougherty with Burke throughout the day. And also because Burke had claimed the woman was a heavy drinker, at least one witness refuted that claim, telling the jury she, quote, never saw her worser for liquor.
Oh.
And after, also, the prosecution laid out the evidence of the murder, including the body having been discovered by the Grays in Burke's house, the bloodstains on the clothing, the bloodstains on the bedding, on the floor, the examination of the body showing very clear evidence of strangulation, and that she did not die of an overdose. The strength of the physical evidence was definitely bolstered by the Crown's key witness,
Hare.
William Hare. He testified that it was Burke who plotted with McDougal to kill Dougherty for money. And he said, quote, he had an old wife in the house and that it was a shot for the doctors. And Hare went a step further, telling the jury that Dougherty had left the house several times, but had been enticed to come back inside each time by none other than Helen McDougal. So throughout the trial, Lord Advocate William Ray and his assistant prosecutors were very, very deliberate and very measured in their questioning of Hare on the stand.
Okay.
They were very careful to avoid any kind of question that might incriminate him in any of the crimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
He did, however, admit on the stand that he had sold the body to Knox.
Okay.
But his participation in the murder of Dougherty was otherwise very minimized. Otherwise, his role in the actual murders, completely ignored. There were no witnesses called by the defense. They just completely ignored it. And after the evidence was given and closing statements were made, the jury deliberated. It was a little after 8 a.m. on December 25th on Christmas.
Oh my God, I'm surprised by that.
Took about an hour, and they returned a guilty verdict for Burke's participation in the murder of Mary Dougherty, and he was sentenced to hang.
Merry Christmas, motherfucker.
The charge against Helen McDougal was found to be unfounded.
Oh. So that's why you don't hear her name and her guilty ass in this story.
What's even worse is it's 100% a certainty that Margaret Laird was involved in the whole scheme.
She was paid.
But she got no consequences.
And what about Hare?
Yep. So It's so wild to me. While Burke did his best to shield Helen of consequences for the crimes that they had committed, it was really the defense attorney, Henry Cockburn, who saved her from having to hang.
I mean, yeah.
Throughout the trial, he painted a picture of McDougal as a dutiful wife who lived with seeing many things which are better imagined than told. Basically saying she saw some shit, she knew what he would do to her, so she kept her mouth shut and she did what she was told to do. And it was true that she hadn't informed the police of Burke's crimes, but it was only because she, quote, felt obliged to make false statements in order to protect Burke and avoid basically becoming destitute.
Yeah.
And in this time, especially, that is an argument. She didn't want to be thrown out on the streets because that was almost certain death eventually.
Right.
And so they were basically being like, she feared for her own life, which doesn't give her, like, that doesn't spare her from being a criminal, but it also is like a way to defend her in a court of law.
Exactly.
You know, like it makes it like.
I understand
the
question
argument. Exactly. It also helped her case immensely that there was no evidence and no testimony that could even slightly connect her to the murders.
Right.
Which she was found not guilty in the end. Now, on the morning of January 25th, 1828, a crowd of nearly 25,000 people gathered in Lawn Market, which is a town square off High Street, and they watched William Burke hang in the gallows.
Damn, so people were like abandoning their Christmas meals just to be like, let's go watch this man.
Well, this was January 25th.
Oh,
So
you
this
said
was-
January, my bad, sorry.
Maybe I did say December by accident.
No, you probably said January.
So a month later.
No, you said it right.
You were right. A month later.
Okay.
But what's kind of ironic is Burke's body was donated to the medical college the following day and was dissected by Professor Alexander Monroe, the doctor that they were looking for initially when they accidentally knocked on Dr. Knox's door.
Yo.
Isn't that wild? And he was dissected in front of an audience of nearly 20,000 people.
Wow.
Yep. And when he finished the dissection, Dr. Monroe apparently he did this thing, and it's called an anatomist ritual.
Okay.
It was called,
Love
where
that.
he dipped his quill into the blood still contained in Burke's head and wrote the following declaration in blood. This is written with the blood of William Burke, who was hanged at Edinburgh on 28th it was on the 28th, excuse me, I got it wrong.
That's okay.
The 28th of January, 1829, for the murder of Mrs. Campbell or Docherty. The blood was taken from his head on the 1st of February, 1829.
They were
Isn't
on
that
some,
spooky as fuck?
They were on some wild shit back then.
They really were.
That's on like some opium thought process.
Yeah.
Like, you know what we should do? We should make a declaration.
Dip a quill
from
into his head.
the blood of his skull.
Yeah.
Like, and y'all were really God-fearing? I don't know about that.
I mean, if you're worried about whether Helen McDougal just went on to live her life, I can help you not worry about that.
I was. That was
Yeah.
my next question after I got past the
Also,
fact that they just like
yeah.
wrote a quick little post-it with
anatomist
his
ritual.
fucking blood.
She was released from custody following the trial, and she tried to go home.
How'd that work
But she was
out?
met by a large group who'd assembled outside of her house and made it pretty clear that she better get the fuck out of Edinburgh, or they were going to make sure that she didn't get out of there alive. Ooh. It's pretty assumed that she fled the city later, like very quickly after that. But no one knows what happened to her after that.
Okay,
She
and-
left Edinburgh.
Hit me up with the deets on Hare.
People do think she was killed by an angry mob, or that she changed her name completely and lived in like isolated somewhere.
Wow.
Well, I will say the family of Jamie Wilson,
Yeah.
the young man who everyone literally knew and loved, they protested against Hare's freedom.
Good.
And aggressively petitioned the government to reconsider the immunity he was given in exchange for his testimony.
bet.
The Wilsons' petition was given very serious consideration, but the Crown ultimately decided that they were going to keep the immunity for his testimony, and Hare was very unfortunately released from custody on February 5th.
Damn.
But unfortunately for Hare, the public knew what he fucking did. And his very much equal participation in the murders, they knew about that too. It took less than a day for a mob to assemble outside the boarding house, intending to kill him themselves. For his own protection, he was taken into police custody, where he was dressed and disguised and escorted out of the city via the road to Carlisle. Although he was never seen or heard from again, it's believed he either went to England or went back to Ireland and was never seen or heard from
You
again.
know that motherfucker murdered again.
100%.
Because he was the one that,
got away
in my
with it.
opinion, was way more diabolical. I think they were both fucked up and
But
diabolical.
something about Hare.
There was more to that.
Something about him. Yeah, he got away with it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They should look into some fucking unsolved
They
murders
should.
in
I
England
know.
or wherever he went.
I actually want to look back and see if there's any connections later.
There's gotta be.
And I'll let you know if we find anything.
I don't think he just was like, oh, well, all done.
See you later. I'll just live a very quiet life after this.
What about his
he was
wife?
probably bolstered. So she was released from custody in mid-January, and she left Edinburgh for Glasgow. And while she was in Glasgow, she was discovered by an angry mob and had to be rescued by the authorities, who put her and her baby, she had a baby at this point, on a
if it was
boat
Hare's or not.
and sent her to Ireland.
Shit.
Although we don't talk about, like, when you read about this story, you don't hear a lot about what happened to Dr. Knox or his wrongdoing in all of this.
Right.
He definitely claimed ignorance, for sure, but he was confronted by authorities, and they were like, you definitely knew something was amiss here. You might not have known the details, but it's pretty hard to believe that he had no idea that they were possibly murdering people to supply him with bodies. Because that last body had very clear evidence. Doherty had clear evidence of being strangled, and he turned his eyes the other way.
He also pretended like he didn't know that it was Jamie.
But what's weird is Burke, when he confessed, went out of his way to clear Knox of any wrongdoing as well. He swore that Knox, quote, never encouraged, never taught, or encouraged him to murder any person.
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't. I think he
And
just
it's like-
turned a blind eye.
And it's like, yeah, no one's saying, exactly, like, no one's saying that he told you to go murder people, but, like, he knew you were.
He didn't tell you to stop murdering people.
Exactly. And it's like, luckily, because he should definitely not be let off scot-free here,
No.
the public didn't forget his participation in everything either.
Good.
And after public outrage, he willingly resigned from his position.
Bye, bitch.
And Knox left Edinburgh several years later and resettled in London, where he died in 1882.
Peace out, motherfucker.
And that is the story of Burke and Hare.
Girl, that's a wild tale. And you did like a really great job telling it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I was like,
And thanks to Dave for like diving deep in that one.
I love Dave.
We love Dave.
Dave. He's notorious.
And you know what? We're working on another one that connects to this case.
Oh my god.
And I think Dave described it as like a Hardy Boys book, but if there was serial killers and coffins.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, actually. I was present for that combo.
So it's going to be great.
I'm intrigued.
This story just is like fascinating to me, mainly because of the ending. One, how reckless and risky they get and brazen, and how they just fuck everything up from within.
Yeah.
Two, how William Hare just, I don't know
away with
what
it.
it is about him, but I'm like, you're scary. Like, Burke is scary, but like Hare, I'm like, something about you. And then the fact that he just gets away with it.
Well, he like asserted dominance by like killing his cousin.
He did.
And was like, I also want to kill your wife. He was just, I
And
don't
then
know.
he made sure that she had to get named in those indictments. Like,
Yeah.
that's some like power shit. And it's like scary. Like,
I
those
feel
are
like something
power
happened
moves.
between him and McDougal.
I know, right?
I
There's
think
some
he made like
weird
an
shit
advance that like she was like,
that
get
she
the fuck away
rebuffed
from me. Yeah.
and he was not about to deal with that.
I mean, like, I just like really like made a leap there, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think there's a Buffy episode recently where it's like, don't jump to conclusions. And it's like,
What did she say?
I think she says like, I just walked around the corner and their conclusions were.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is the same situation. It's like, I don't think that's a leap. You just walked around a corner and their conclusions were.
And with that being said, we were talking the other day, we're always like, oh my gosh, we should do like a chiller episode for a palate cleanser, which like we're still going to do. But if we ever do like an intense case and you need a palate cleanser, or if you don't and you just want to listen to another show, go listen to the Rewatcher, Buffy the Vampire
Yes.
Slayer. It's so much fun. We're rewatching Buffy. Alaina has seen it a million gazillion trillion times, but I never have.
And in the last episode, they used a clip from Taken of Liam Neeson saying, I will find you and I will kill you. And you don't know what that's in reference to.
And if that's
And
not
you should go
convincing
listen
enough,
and find out.
I don't know about you.
They put fun clips in there and fun little sound things. And
They
it's
put
like,
the dun, 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 dun.
it's so fun, guys. Like that.
And
that podcast gives us the most
Life.
joy in the entire world because
Life.
it's just fun, silly nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, go listen to it.
So with that being said, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
Keep
it
weird, but not so weird as Hare. Definitely not so weird as Burke and Hare ever, or McDougal or Larry, but never, ever, ever keep it as weird as Hare. Because I don't even know how weird that motherfucker kept it, but he kept it too weird. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, he definitely kept it too weird.
So, like, bye.
Talk about regrets. We all know someone who's been in a car accident and said, I don't need to call a lawyer, only to regret it after their pain and damages were worse than expected. When someone hurts you, you deserve to be compensated fairly. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, fighting for the people for over 35 years. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast. Their fee is free unless they win.
In the U.S., there's a break-in every 26 seconds. But when intruders step near, Simply Safe Home Security steps up.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on the way.
Using AI alerts, U.S.-based live agents help deter break-ins. Simply Safe, no long-term contracts. Save 50% on your new system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/SXM or with promo code SXM.
Outdoor deterrence requires a Simply Safe Active Guard outdoor protection plan starting at $49.99 a month. Visit simplysafe.com/licenses for alarm license information. Tennessee 2012.